Hello children, how are you? I hope you all are doing well. So बच्चों, have you heard about some stories wherein they have mentioned that एक कबूतर उनकी चिट्ठी लेके गया? So, do you still follow that? Are we still following the same old method? No, we have progressed and now it is from pigeons to paper. So let's see about it in this chapter called From Pigeons to Paper. But before that, let's do a warm-up. Match the news or broadcasting agencies mentioned in column A with the states they belong to as given in column B. So यहाँ पे अलग अलग newspaper agencies के नाम हैं. आपको इनको match करना है with the places, okay, with the states they belong to. Okay, now mark as many of these agencies as you may be able to find in the newspaper. So आपको इनको सबको mark करना है as per the paper में जो आता है. Alright, now let's meet our new word friends. Read the following words aloud after your teacher. So if you look at this, the agency list, there's this name Press Trust of India, PTI. So obviously it belongs to India. So you will see that many of them have the names of the country already in the agency name. So it becomes easier for you to mark it. तो आप जितना ज़्यादा mark कर सकते हो उतना mark कर लो. Alright, so let's move on to our new word friends. Advent, acclaimed, native, pioneer, venture, assassination, expanded, battling, turf, monopoly, inundations, promptitude, gravity, mansion and commemorated. Okay, now let's read and understand the first part. Before any news in the newspaper, you often notice abbreviations such as PTI, AP, AFP, DPA, etc. in the news reports. Have you ever wondered what these abbreviations stand for or why are these published along the reports in the newspaper? You will probably be surprised to know that these are some of the most important, powerful, trusted and necessary names in news industry. So, जब भी कोई newspaper में print होती है, okay? तो आपने नोटिस किया होगा कि उसमें abbreviations होते हैं, words like PTI या AP या AFP या DPA. अगर आपने notice नहीं किया है, so please open a newspaper and look for it. Now, these are very important, okay? They are very important and now let's see why are they so important, okay? You'll probably be surprised to know that these are some of the most important, powerful, they are trusted and necessary names in the news industry. These are news agencies. Abhi ye hai news agencies without which the news connectivity round the globe is not possible in its present shape. So ye jo agencies hai, they are the ones who are responsible for the news connectivity across the globe. Though origin of newspapers date back to late 1400s, but their function and format changed from local to global only with the advent of news agencies in 17th century. So although 1400s mein newspaper was started, okay, they started the newspaper, but still for them to go from local to global, these agencies, okay, they played a very important role. Some of these agencies have been in existence since centuries. So इसमें से ऐसे भी जो agencies हैं वो काफ़ी centuries से चले आ रहे. Okay, one of the oldest, most widely acclaimed and universally trusted agency that changed the entire outlook of newspaper is Reuters. Reuters is named for its founder Julius Reuter, a native of Germany. Reuter was born Israel Beer-Josephat in 1816. He converted from Judaism to Christianity and adopted his new name while on a brief trip to London in the 1840s. So, Reuters करके जो group है, it is one of the most trusted agency और ये सबसे पुरानी वाली agency है. अब इसके जो फाउंडर थे, इस एजेंसी के फाउंडर थे जूलियस रॉयटर, जो बॉर्न तो हुए थे एज ए इजराइलिट, ओके, बट फ्रॉम जुडाइज्म ही ऑप्टेड टू फॉलो क्रिस्टियनिटी। और जब वो क्रिस्टियनिटी में आए तो उन्होंने अपना नाम फ्रॉम बियर जोसेफिट, ही चेंज हिज नेम टू Julius Reuter, okay, and then he went on a brief trip to London in the year 1840s. After working as a publisher in Berlin, he fled the city during the revolution of 1848 and then arrived in Paris. Here he is said to have worked for Charles Havas, the French news agency pioneer, before setting up in business himself. In 1849, Reuters started his own news sheet, translating information taken from French newspapers into German and then sending this data to provincial papers in his homeland. तो पहले तो he started with a trip to London, okay. After working as a publisher, then he started working as a publisher in Berlin, और उसके बाद because वहाँ पे revolution हो गया, he left in the year 1848 and then he went to Paris, okay. और यहाँ पे he started working with Charles Havas, who was the French news agency pioneer. उसके बाद Mr. Reuter thought of having his own agency and starting his own business. In 1849, Reuter started his own news sheet, translating information taken from French newspaper into German and sending this data to provincial papers in his homeland. तो जो फ्रेंच न्यूज़पेपर में जो डेटा आता था इन फ्रेंच लैंग्वेज, he started translating it to Germany and then he started sending the data in his homeland. The business failed after a few months. Reuter left for Germany to establish a service in Aachen, supplying financial and general news from the major centers of Paris. So he kept on trying his best, although this business was not successful. Now he went back to Germany and he established a service in Aachen, okay. Now he supplied financial and general news from the major centers of Paris, Brussels and Berlin to the merchants and bankers in Cologne and elsewhere. The enterprising Reuter used carrier pigeons to bridge the gap in the telegraph line then existing between Aachen and Brussels, thereby achieving a 7-hour jump on the local mail train. So he tried different ways by which the data could reach in a faster manner. By the end of 1850, the gap in the telegraph line was closed and Reuter moved to London. In response to the laying of a cable across the English Channel, linking the stock exchanges of London and Paris, he opened an office near the London Stock Exchange in October 1851. So he moved back to London in 1850. Then they started laying a cable across the English Channel, wherein they could link the stock exchanges of London and Paris. Okay, उन्होंने अपना एक ऑफिस सेट किया लंदन स्टॉक एक्सचेंज के बाजू में in October 1851. In addition to being the financial center of the Victorian world, London was becoming the communication center for the growing world telegraph network. Free trade and a free press added to the atmosphere. Reuter needed to succeed in his new venture. He had long been impressed by the potentials of telegraphic communication and the profits to be derived from the sale of news and information via this medium. अब उन्होंने he succeeded, okay, he made a new the world telegraph network was created, free trade होने लगा, free press added to the atmosphere. Ab Reuters succeeded in his new venture, okay, of the telegraph thing, and then he had long been impressed by the potential of telegraphic communication, okay. So he was quite impressed by everything and he wanted to take this venture forward. So the profits that he derived from the sale of news and information via this medium had raised. Twice a day for a fixed term payment, his submarine telegraph office provided London and Paris brokers and merchants with opening and closing prices in both capitals. So through the medium of telegraph, they could exchange the prices जो स्टॉक्स के प्राइसेस होते हैं वो एक्सचेंज होने लगे और उसके हिसाब से ओपनिंग एंड क्लोजिंग प्राइसेस वर कम्युनिकेटेड अमंगस्ट ईच अदर. He gradually widened his geographic range, and in 1857 he made a contract with the recently established telegraphic news agency in Russia. फिर उन्होंने इसको expand करने के लिए रशिया के साथ he made a contract. Now let's look at the second part. Reuters rapidly built a strong reputation for his service by reporting several exclusive stories. In 1859, he transmitted the text of a speech given by Napoleon III prior to the Austro-French-Piedmontese War in Italy. The agency soon extended its service to include the entire British press. तो उनकी जो सर्विसेज थे वो रैपिडली ग्रो होने लगे थे. ओके, सो 1859 में उन्होंने एक टेक्स्ट ऑफ स्पीच भेजा था नेपोलियन द थर्ड को बिफोर द ऑस्ट्रो फ्रेंच पिडमोंटेस वॉर which took place in Italy. The agency soon extended its services to include the entire British press को include करने के लिए. Now Reuters' continuing success brought him to the attention of the highest levels of government. In the year 1861, Reuters was presented at the court of Queen Victoria by Prime Minister Lord Palmerston. On April 26, 1865, Reuters was the first news agency to bring the news of President Abraham Lincoln's assassination in the United States to the European public. So he was the first one, okay? It was the first news agency that communicated the news of the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, which took place in US, to the European people, okay? So later that year, Reuters opened the first news agency office outside of Europe in Alexandria, Egypt. तो उन्होंने धीरे धीरे न्यूज़ एजेंसी को expand किया, and now he opened his new office in Egypt, which was outside of Europe. With his service rapidly expanding throughout Europe, Reuters laid his own telegraph cables across the North Sea to reach Germany and France. Reuters then began to serve the United States. By 1872, the agency reached the Far East, and 1874 it expanded into South America. So ऐसे करके धीरे धीरे उन्होंने अपना जो न्यूज़ एजेंसी का नेटवर्क था, टेलीग्राफिक कम्युनिकेशन का जो नेटवर्क था, उसको बढ़ाते गए. And now he had put in his own cable network throughout the Europe से वो US तक पहुँचे, US से he expanded, okay, and he reached Far East also, and also to South America. Okay, as the world of news transmission grew, Reuters found himself battling with two main competitors. अब उनको जैसे जैसे उनका नेटवर्क बढ़ने लगा, okay, transmission बढ़ने लगे, he got some more competitions. जैसे जैसे हम तरक्की करते हैं, हमारे competitors आ ही जाते हैं. So the Havas agency of France and Wolf of Germany on January 17, 1870, after many years of rivalry, Reuters and its competitors set ground rules for the worldwide exchange of news by dividing up turf. Okay? The territorial division allowed Reuters, Havas and Wolf exclusive control over their own countries and assigned to each of them parts of Europe and South America. For many years, the three agencies enjoyed a shared monopoly on global news service. तो उसके बाद जो उन्होंने कॉम्पिटिटर्स के साथ दे केम टू अ कंसेंसस, ओके, उन्होंने डिसाइड किया कि जो फ्रांस का है, दे विल लुक आफ्टर फ्रांस, द पर्सन इन जर्मनी विल लुक आफ्टर जर्मनी, एंड द पर्सन इन द अदर सेक्टर्स इन लंडन एंड ऑल विल हैंडल दैट. उसके साथ साथ दे गॉट सम शेयर ऑफ द अदर पार्ट्स ऑफ यूरोप एंड ऑल्सो ऑफ साउथ अमेरिका. ओके, सो बहुत सालों तक तो दे एंजॉयड दिस मोनोपोली. In 1871, Reuters was named a baron by the Duke of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Later, he was given the same rank in England. Reuters converted his news agency into a joint stock company and he remained its managing director until 1878, when he retired and was replaced by his son Herbert. So he was given the title of Baron, okay, by the Duke of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha. Okay, उसके बाद उन्होंने अपने न्यूज़ एजेंसी को जॉइंट स्टॉक कंपनी में कन्वर्ट किया, जहाँ पे वो मैनेजिंग डायरेक्टर थे टिल 1878. उसके बाद उन्होंने रिटायरमेंट ली और फिर दैट बिजनेस वाज टेकन ओवर बाय हिज सन हर्बर्ट. Reuters' idea of the news is summed up in an 1833 memo he dispatched to his correspondents and agents. In the memo, he requested that news be transmitted that included fires, explosions, floods, inundations, railway accidents, destructions, that is destructive storms, earthquakes, shipwrecks, attended with loss of life, accidents to war vessels and to mail steamers, street riots of grave character, disturbances arising from strikes, duels between and suicides of persons of note, social or political, and murders of a sensational or atrocious character. It is requested that the bare facts be first telegraphed with the utmost promptitude, and as soon as possible afterwards a descriptive account proportionate to the gravity of the incident. With this memo, he established ground rules which future news agencies followed. So, uske baad unhone he put some ground rules of what should be included in the news. Okay, so he wanted that the news transmissions include news about fires, explosion, floods, inundations, railway accidents, destructive storms, earthquakes, everything possible, riots which were like really of a major importance. Okay, then the suicides that people have committed or anything in general should all be covered up in the agency. Reuter died on February 25, 1899 at his mansion, the Villa Reuter in Nice, France. In 1941, the Reuter Trust was formed to ensure the neutrality and independence of Reuters. On February 25, 1999, the Reuters news agency commemorated the 100th anniversary of the death of its founder by launching a university award in Germany. So this is how Reuter played a major contribution. ये उनका सबसे बड़ा contribution था towards the world of news. Okay, he initiated so many things. He made these telegraphic communications easy. He put lot of cable networking and all. As a result of which, okay, they were one of the pioneers of this news transmission agency. अगर वो नहीं होता तो हमें आज भी सिर्फ लोकल न्यूज़ मिलते जो हमारे एरिया के हो रहे हैं या फिर हमारे कंट्री से रिलेटेड थे. बट नाउ वी आर गेटिंग ऑल न्यूज़ फ्रॉम ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. क्लियर? एंड स्लोली एंड ग्रेजुअली वी हैव प्रोग्रेस सो मच दैट अभी हमें डिजिटल न्यूज़ भी मिलते हैं, नॉट ओनली द न्यूज़ पेपर्स बट डिजिटली ऑल्सो वी आर एबल टू गेट द न्यूज़. Alright, so now let's focus on our comprehension skills. Fill in the blanks with the best alternative from the options that follow. So, passage padho अच्छे से and then answer these questions. And then you have to think and answer also. Alright, so let's focus on our vocabulary now. Solve the crossword with the help of hints given below. So, अभी यहाँ पे आपको newspaper से related और journalism से related certain words है. Okay. So, you have to put the right words in the grid, okay? Like a person who writes a regular column giving a personal opinion is a columnist, okay? Now, accordingly, you have to start writing your own words. Ensure you can refer to the dictionary or you can take your teacher's help or elder's help at home. Now, let's focus on our grammar. Clauses. A clause is a group of related words that contain a subject and a predicate. Clauses में होता है subject और predicate, okay, which is a verb. Example, he likes. He likes this shirt. He likes the shirt brought by me. Now, all these three examples above are clauses. So, there are two major clauses. Principal or independent clauses that may express complete sense, like he likes. subordinate clause depends on the main clause to express its complete sense. Subordinate clause को क्या होता है? It needs the main clause जिससे वो sense करेगा. Okay? He likes this shirt bought by me. He likes the shirt brought by me. So अगर हम सिर्फ लिखें he likes the shirt, it does not make sense. So इसलिए he likes the shirt brought by me makes the complete sense of the sentence with the help of the subordinate clause. Now, read the following groups of words carefully. Name his no. To know his name. He wanted to know his name. He wanted to know what his name was. Now, in the above groups is first one. Okay, it is a group of non-related words. Now, these are just random words. They are not making any sense. They are not related to anything. Second, it is a group of related words with a verb, a phrase. Okay, to know his name. So, now this is a phrase. Third one, it represents a group of words with verb. That is a clause, a subject plus verb plus object. He wanted, he is the subject, wanted is the verb, to know his name. Okay, that's the object. Now, represents, the fourth one represents two group of words with two verbs. Okay, he wanted to know is the main clause, and what his name was is the subordinate or the dependent clause. Okay, now let's look at subordinate clause. अब subordinate clause में क्या होता है? It depends on the other clause which is the main clause पे depend होता है. Now, depending on the function that the subordinate clause performs in a sentence, the subordinate clause may be divided into the following type. Okay, first आता है noun clause. Okay, now noun clause में क्या होता है? It performs the function, same function as that of a noun. Noun के जैसे ही function करते हैं. Example, as subject or as an object or as a predicate. Example, he knows that I will like it. What he did made me laugh. So, next is adjective clause. Now, it functions like an adjective. That is, it describes a noun or pronoun. Adjectives हमें वही करते हैं, describe करते हैं, noun और pronoun के बारे में हमें ज़्यादा information देते. He is wearing a cap which looks nice. Adverb clause. ये क्या है? It's like, it functions like an adverb. It modifies a verb, adjective clause or other adverb clauses in a sentence. Modifying कर देते हैं और उसके बारे में बताते कि ये कौन से type का clause है. Okay? It modifies the situation in terms of time, frequency, cause and effect, contrast, etc. Example, he takes medicine because he is ill. Okay, why does he take a medicine? Because he is ill. We will go to picnic unless it rains. When will you go for picnic? Okay, we will go to picnic unless it rains. Now, underline the clauses in the following sentences. Write NC for noun clauses, AC for adjective clauses and ADC for adverb clauses. Okay, so Seema is the singer who we are talking about. So, यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? Seema is a singer who we are talking about becomes the noun clause. Okay. Now, although he had studied well, he could not get 100% marks. So, again, although he had studied well, he could not get 100% marks. So, noun clause के बारे में हो रहा है. Okay. So, now, rest of them you have to do it. Alright children, so get going. Now, writing skills. Newspaper report. आप देखते हैं newspaper report कैसे लिखते हैं. There's a format that you have to follow. First is the heading and then you have to write your name or the name of the person who is writing this report. You mention the place and date. Okay, para 1 or beginning. Summary or responses to the questions what, where, when, who and how. Then you have to write the middle description and detail of the event, number of people who were involved, eyewitnesses, etc. And then the comments or the actions that were taken. Okay, remember, reports shall be written in past tense because the incident हो गया है उसके बारे में आप बता रहे हो तो it has to be in the past tense. Preferably, passive voice shall be used. Okay, I hope you remember what is an active voice and a passive voice. Active voice may we are using the voice, we are using the words that are spoken as is. Active and passive voice may we are putting the words in our own words. Okay, now it should be clear and concise. Okay, you don't have to write too many details. It has to be clear, concise. It shall be to the point, that is particular, not generalized in nature, and do not use first person pronouns like I or we. Okay, it has to be a generalized thing. So you are Namit or Nisha, a newspaper correspondent of a national daily. You come across a news about a painting by a famous painter Raja Rao being stolen from an art gallery, Tanjore Street, late last night. The painting was worth 25 lakh rupees. Complete the report by filling in the requisite information. Remember, give it an appropriate title and follow the format. Okay, so आपके पास ये gist दिया हुआ है, format mention किया है, आपको एक news report ready करना है. Okay, famous painting Sacred Trinity by the renowned artist, it was made by Raja Rao, was stolen yesterday from Tanjore Street last night. Okay, the painting dash in the 3 days exhibition at gallery. Okay, so you have to write the painting was put up in the 3 days exhibition at the gallery. Okay, now accordingly you can write the remaining details about it and make your own report. Now let's talk about listening and speaking skills. Listen to the following passage attentively. The rainy season comes after summer season, a very hot season of the year. People become very restless in the summer season because of too much heat, warm air and skin problems. However, all the problems become over as soon as rainy season comes. Rainy season falls in the month of July and stays for 3 months long. It is the lucky season for all and everyone loves and enjoys it. It is in this season we enjoy eating naturally ripened sweet mangoes. In this season, we celebrate some festivals as Janmashtami and Raksha Bandhan with great enthusiasm. So, here this passage is talking about 2 seasons. One is the hot summers and second is the rainy season. Especially it's talking about the rainy season which comes in the month of July and stays for 3 months, and people really enjoy this season because of the beautiful greenery that spreads in the nature and the sound of rain, and of course you get to celebrate certain festivals also in this season. Okay, now answer the following questions given below. Now let's talk about pronunciations. Pronunciation of GN. Listen to the various ways GN is pronounced. Add at least 2 more words of similar sound to each group. Okay, sign, malign, okay, with the recognize. Okay, so we can say diagnose, so it sounds more or less same. Okay, now rhyme time. Read the following poem aloud with proper pronunciation and intonation. Okay, newspapers are so last century. You still get a paper? A young man sneered, obviously thinking that it was quite weird. He thought that getting the news online should for me be just perfectly fine. While I am in the process of transition, I still see need to take the print edition. For one, nothing else does so fine. A messy kitchen garbage can to line. For the fireplace, a paper's the best. It ignites more easily than the rest. I use it also to peel the potatoes atop. Not a speck on the floor will drop. Especially when I want to swat a fly. To hit him with an iPad, I'd never try. And to cancel the paper, I'd be a jerk, since it would put those folks out of work. So call me an old fogey if you will. I'll subscribe to the newspaper still. This beautiful rhyme or this beautiful poem was written by Elton Camp. It tells that how important the paper is. It's not only that gives us for the purpose of getting news. न्यूज़पेपर के अलग भी काम होते, जैसे आप कब जब प्रोजेक्ट बनाते हो तो आप न्यूज़पेपर को यूज़ करके प्रोजेक्ट बना सकते हो और फिर आप उसको नीचे रख सकते हो, टेबल पे रख सकते हो, उसके ऊपर अपना काम कर सकते हो, जिसकी वजह से टेबल भी गंदा नहीं होता है, फ्लोर भी गंदा नहीं होता है, isn't it? We can use it to swat a fly. Okay, can you use an iPad to do that? No, not at all. So this poet is trying to tell us that although people are trying to go online, I will still follow the old method. Call me old, call me foggy, it doesn't matter to me. I am going to continue subscribing for newspaper because it does not only give me the news, but I can use it for many purposes. In the kitchen, okay, I can use it in the kitchen, in the fireplace, okay, because it ignites faster. So there are so many uses apart from news. So whatever it is, come what may, I'm going to continue getting my edition of newspaper. Alright, so now it's time for an activity. This activity is a race. It will take you to different sections of the newspaper, but the prime objective is to work together within your group to get the job done. Teamwork is the key. So good luck. Find each item in the newspaper provided, cut it and paste it. Write the number besides the item and write the page number where you found it. Okay? So आपको हर एक आइटम को ढूंढ के निकालना है फ्रॉम द न्यूज़पेपर और पेस्ट करना है, कट करना है, पेस्ट करना है. जैसे a man's face, a foreign country, vehicle other than a scooter, a movie that starts between 9 and 11 p.m. Okay, the name of a reality show that has recently started, a foreign political leader, something that makes you laugh, an advertisement which appeals to your eyes. Find an interesting news article, read it carefully, find and highlight or underline the important points. Find one sports article and highlight or circle name the key people mention. Pick out one good movie that you plan to watch. Find an article about international sports news. Find an article about national news. Find an article about local news. A sale in a mall. Find a person dressed in a suit, maybe going to a job interview. Find an advertisement of a mobile, a university or college that you want to study, a comic strip or cartoon on politician. Okay, now as soon as you're finished, run to teacher and speak, I love media club. So children, before you do this beautiful activity which is going to keep you occupied for quite some time, it's time to first read the chapter, answer all the exercise questions, complete all the exercises, practice your grammar skills, and then get on to this activity. So get going, children.